Metropolitan, municipal, and district chief assemblies have been charged to ensure the obstructions to the free flow of water, as well as developments along waterways, are removed immediately. MMDAs are also to ensure the strict adherence of developers to the planning laws of our country and sanction staff who have issued permits for structures to be built on waterways to serve as a deterrent to others who seek to engage in such acts.
President Nana Akufo-Addo and the Minister for Works and Housing, Francis Asenso-Boakye, have indicated that the various metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies must ensure that buildings on waterways are pulled down. They contend that the move will significantly aid government's efforts in addressing the perennial flooding issue in the Greater Accra region anytime it rains. Areas such as Dansoman, Adabraka, Taifa, Ofankor, Chado, Nsakina, Weja, among others, often flood when it rains. But how well are the municipal chief executives in these areas complying with the president's directive for structures on waterways to be demolished?
Yes, we have set structures after the president gives that directive. For me, when the president speaks to me, it's a law. So quickly I engage my works department, physical planning office, then the environmental office, then NADWO. We form a committee purposely for that. And thank God we have identified some structures at waterways. So,
in which areas?
First of all, we identified about 3 structures around Fisi. Then we had about 9 at Ofankor North. Then Ofankor area, we have identified 1. Then around Amomole, getting to Junior Home stretch, the way we were talking about, there's this school, but it's a private school. Yeah, that structure too is along the waterways. Yeah. As we speak, we have demolished about 6 buildings as we speak, but the other ones, it's not necessarily pulling down the whole building as such. At times, maybe half of the building, or maybe the wall. The president gave the directive, and I formed that committee. We've moved from churches to churches to communicate to them. At times, it's about sensitization and education.
Beginning of the year, we have started with some actions in some electoral areas. Knowing very well that Wejagbawe has 4 rivers that runs through it. We have the Kokojo, we have the Bale, we have the Densu, and then the Lafa. So the slight downpour, of course, some areas are affected, such as Weja, Oglogo, part of Gonse, McCarthy down, Malam, and then some part of CP, and then Tetegu. So we are really challenged. So we have budget for the year in, seeing to those areas before the rain sets in. For this year, we've done that. Areas that need to be desilted, dredged, we've done all that. But we also noted that some structures are also sitting on waterways, of which, per the president directive, we need to quickly move in and then get rid of those structures. So we asked the fiscal planning department, in partnership with the works department and myself, we went on the field to identify those structures which have been marked for demolition, which is the phase 2. Is going to pull down the structures that are really sitting on waterways. We're supposed to do it, that is on Thursday, but then the information van is still out there talking to the people. They've asked that we should give them some few days to get their staff out of those structures so that we can move in to get those structures out of the way. We are advising these developers to come to the assembly. We have a scheme for the entire municipality, and then of course we will tell you whether where you're going to site your structure is good or not, so that in the future nobody comes to pull your structures down.
You see, the problem is that at times the developers, they have shifted and redesigned water, the course of most of the water bodies, and the moment you do that, the resultant effect will be flood. So what we have done is to fly drone to look at the most appropriate place or course of the water. We have done that at Mambo. We are going to do the same thing as at Antioku Lane 5 area. Then Mary Lucy in front of Modak Lodge. there is a whole stretch of drain. It's a stream that has been, I mean, there's so much encroachment on the path or the course of the water. We need to clear all those encroachments so that there will be free flow of water without hindrances whenever it rains, in order to save lives and property. The residents in Central Municipal Assembly have welcomed the president's directive, and that is why you see that we do the exercise without security. There is no security, but still the exercise is going on smoothly. We have done a lot of sensitization exercises, and we entreat all and sundry to collaborate with us to do the needful in order to save them, to save their lives, to save their properties. And we believe that by the time we finish with the roadmap of exercises we have decided to embark on, Central Municipal Assembly will be flood-free whenever it rains.
We have done a lot. Looking at the directives from the president, even though in Ga West we were doing those things before, because before the rainy season we knew what would happen. We have some drainage that we have to desist them, and we did them. So upon the president's directives that we should pull out all the buildings on the waterways and the roads, we have started that one too. And as I speak in Ga West, we are trying our best to make sure all waterways and roads encroachments will be demolished. We have done some in Duduman. When we get to Sakina, we have done some in Sakina. When we get to Maria, we have about 17 electoral areas in our constituency. We have places that we have where the waterways, we have them. Some places like Isachi River and the Hebron River, and we are really working on it. So we have done a lot. We are not stopping. It is something that will continue, and we are warning people not to buy waterways. Those who are selling the waterways, we are warning them. Those who are buying it, we are warning them. And those who are building it, we are warning them. So now it's not like, Messi, Munyami. No, whether you have built it or not, we will not allow you. And those who have the foundations, they can continue. Those who are finished, will pull it down. So don't try.
We've spotted several of them. There are walls on waterways. We have Agbogba area. We have the Kwabenya. We have some at Ashoman, Old Ashoman to be precise. And then we have one at the Gaist Hospital. There's a storm drain, and somebody has built some structure there. We have the markings already. You know, we don't just go and pick. You have to serve notices before, so that when we go, it wouldn't be like a surprise or they are not aware. So we have served them, and we're giving them time to come, and they are here. Some of them have written a concern that they have understood, because there's nothing they can do. It's on the waterway, and the assembly must demolish. Since I assumed office, I realized that most of us, we don't know, or since we don't have the demarcation, you know, we are in a hurry to build something. I mean, that shows you the family, that means Sumabobra or something. So they quickly get, once they get the, as I say, oh, I'm just going to build. No, you are supposed to come to the assembly. Then we'll go through the layout. We have our layout there, and then we will advise. If it's a water, we will advise you not to even pay for that piece of land. So my advice is that anytime they show interest or they express interest, or somebody even comes to them to propose or give them a piece of land, they should first come to the assembly to check.
Mainly, some of the structures, we've marked them. So after marking the structures, you know, they started coming. Even today, some of them were here, I mean, coming to beg here and there. But the point is, I mean, most of them are without permit. And these are structures that has been there, some of them 20 years, 25 years, 10 years. But I keep saying that, please, if you are putting up a building, a lot of money goes into it. So make sure you go through the right channel. Either than that, you build today, but tomorrow, I mean, your investment will come to waste. So please, so much money goes into building. So we should not hesitate without going through proper channel. We should do it. Make sure we get, how do we call it, permits before we go ahead with we go ahead with the building. Going beyond the stage of begging, we've gotten to a place where we have to take the bull by the horn and make sure we address the challenge that is facing our municipality. We are so committed in solving this challenge in our municipality. There is no way we will compromise. I've told them, and I've made my stand so clear. I mean, when it comes to these things, they know my stand. My stand is so clear. What is wrong is wrong. And just as I keep saying, the only challenge we have as Africans is indiscipline and sanitation. If we are able to address indiscipline and sanitation challenges, I tell you, our nation, I mean, will be superb.
2 civil structures have gone down so far. That is the Tunga Dam, just by the border between our municipality and then Pambros Salt Company. So we started from that area. But like I told you the last time, we needed to do a compilation of all structures within the waterways. It hadn't started raining, so it was going to be a bit difficult to tell where we would have flooding or not.
For some municipal chief executives in the Greater Accra region, the issue of building on waterways will be a thing of the past should developers and individuals consult the various assemblies for the appropriate documents and information before constructing a building. For City News, my name is Philip Ni Latte.